Well, guys, today is Saturday, and it's 7/6/19. It is 87 outside, 89 in here. Humidity is about 81. As you can see, the sun is out, and that's up here in Connecticut. So, got a few things I got to do today. I got inventory I got to do on our equipment. I was going to do it yesterday afternoon, but I got called out. There was a fire. For not having the camera with me all the time like that. But, when I'm out there, I don't really have time to think about the camera. So you gotta forget about it at times. In this case, the house was going up. By the time I got there, the back of the house was already destroyed. The department had already entered the house and was blasting the crap out of it with water. So the house is basically destroyed. If you look at it from the front, the shell looks good. However, the interior is shot and the back end is shot. It's probably repairable, but at what cost, I don't know. And then I'll tell you, another thing. Here I am, I'm there. And don't you think we get a couple of insurance companies out there. Now, these insurance companies are not companies that have the house insured, nor are they companies trying to sell insurance to the house owner because she already has insurance. These are insurance companies that are coming out there to try to get the bid on remodeling or redoing the home, and at an exorbitant price, and then they work with your insurance company for the money. And now my brother-in-law had that done back about 7 or 8 years ago. He was doing something in the kitchen, and I think he threw water and hot oil or whatever. Started a fire, flash fire, boom, the kitchen was shot in minutes. One of these insurance company guys come out there. They're basically contractors, and they said, well, for $43,000 we can remodel your kitchen, and it's not going to cost you a penny. We'll take care of it. We work with it. Blah 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 blah. And he said, all right. And now with my brother-in-law being squeaky, he says, well, maybe I can get a few bucks back in cash. You know what I mean? If I give you this, what am I going to get other than a new kitchen? Yeah, okay. So now he wants to get paid on top of it all. So to make a long story short, they did do the kitchen. Now their kitchen is about, because it's only a cook-in kitchen, so it's about, it's about here. So it's about maybe 9 feet. 8 or 9 feet by 8 or 9 feet. No, well, I'll tell you, because the sink's over there. So it's probably closer to 12 feet. So I was going to say 8 by 12. Because you have your inner counter here. They have a little counter here to prepare their food. They got the stove, which I don't think should be there. It should be closer to the sink. But meanwhile, the stove, the refrigerator, and then there's a bathroom door for the downstairs bathroom. It's a half bath. And then over here you have your sink and things like that, and then more countertop. And on this counter, they actually have a higher part, so it's a little island, so that if you're sitting on the other side on a bench, you can sit there and eat a little bit. But you know what I mean? Nothing fancy. The company soaked their insurance company $43,000 for it. I mean, this was by no means a $43,000 job. And the sink that they used was a demo sink. Now, a lot of sinks that you buy, they used to have demo sinks. When you go in to look at a sink, at Home Depot or Grossman's or whatever plumbing supply house you're using, sometimes they have them all out, set up like in a kitchen, so you have a large display. You have your counter, your sink, your cabinets, and well, a lot of times those sinks aren't real sinks. What they are is like a what do you call it? It's like they're made up of something like this board here. Pegboard is made up of that kind of stuff, and then they spray the fiberglass or whatever coating over it with the color, so it looks like a sink. I mean, it really does. If you touch it and tap on it, it's just like a sink. And the companies buy these things, or the stores, the retail outlets buy these things dirt cheap, or if anything, sometimes they get them for nothing because they're selling the product, from the manufacturer to the customer. So the manufacturers will give them these things. However, this insurance company used one of those sinks. All right, to cut back on money, and what happened was a year later, the coating started to wear off it, and you started to see, what it was actually made of. And then if you look underneath the sink, you can tell. If you look under the sink, you can tell. However, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law don't really pay attention to these things, They look at the exteriors. They don't go under cabinets or pull out the drawers to find out how the drawer is constructed. What are they using? Are they using press board or solid or whatever? They don't pay attention to these things, Oh, it looks nice. It's great. Blah blah. Thank you. It didn't cost us a dime. That type of thing. So they got beat. Well, these insurance companies do this. So meanwhile, these insurance or contractors were there trying to get a hold of the two people that own the house that are actually on oxygen at this point, and they're being rushed to the hospital because the ambulance is getting ready to load them up. And they want to talk to them about the house. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, get out. Get on the other side of the street. I mean, and that's all there is to it. And then there's ServPro. Now, they were being respectable. ServPro is a company that comes in and does a major cleanup. They do a lot of cleanup, and they get in deep. They do a good job, actually. Well, some of them. And there was two ServPro guys there. But when I walked up to them, what's going on, guys? Well, we're from ServPro. Oh, okay. All right. We're just waiting to talk to them. I said, well, they're going to be ready to go to the hospital. So if anything, I would recommend not even thinking about it, and do not go over that line, and do not bother them if they're on a gurney. That's all there is to it. All right? And you're not going to go next to them because now they're under the care of our medical people. So you better talk to them before you talk to these people who own the house. Because I don't want to hear it. That's all there is to it. And then down the hill, there's another ServPro guy coming up the hill. I said, no. They're on their way to the emergency room. They're on their way to the hospital. There's nobody here to talk to. I'm not trying to, not let them get business, but this is not the time for it. So meanwhile, finally got that all under control. And this is basically one of them. This is the father or the husband. And he's going to be going, and then the wife, I believe, also went. They had him on oxygen. She wasn't walking too great. Now they had two pets, a cat and a dog. Once the fire department got in there, they realized and got the smoke out of the way. They found out there was a cat and dog unconscious from smoke. So they called animal control. Animal control came out and gave them oxygen with the pet mask and was able to revive them. And then they took them to one of the veterinarian centers here in the town, and now they're under medical care and they're doing fine. So that's good. So everybody got out of there. Everybody, including the animals, are okay. A little bit of smoke inhalation, which could be a pain in the ass down the line, but For most part, everything seems to be okay. So, but like I said, the house looks good from the outside. Yeah. And it was hot, as you can tell. I mean, they were there. They were there for a while. I was there for 2 hours and 40 minutes. And these guys, like I say, are beat, but they got to do what they got to do. They know what they have to do. They know what their jobs are, and they get in there and they do it. Channel 8 News was there. This is from The Patch, which is a local paper. I don't know if you guys have a patch where you guys are or not, but we have a patch, and then if you type in patch and whatever town you have, you'll get the news from that town whenever it's available. So, but that's kind of it. And they had a lot of the trucks there, and 2 medical there, and actually the dog wardens and things were there. And at that point, so what they did was they had East Haven, which is a neighboring town, come in and man the firehouse, because they had a lot of trucks here. They still had a few in the firehouse, but if something else were to happen, of magnitude, they would have needed help. So it was easier just to have East Haven bring a couple of their trucks in and hang out until ours got back. And as ours went back into service, East Haven would leave. So that's kind of how that worked. Anyway, guys, so much for that. Today is Saturday, like I said. Alright, and
this is my bedroom. I don't come in here a lot by myself.
Let me get out of this. Let me get out of that. Let me see. Did it log me in? I don't think so. No. Okay. Alright. And this is The Patch.
My daughter had contacted Alabama.
Alright. So much for that, guys. So, today I got inventory to do. I've got some boxes over here, if you can see them or not. Hey, Bear! And then there's some more back there, and there's some more in the truck. And we gotta go through them and see what we have for a count, make a list, and then put it into the inventory. I got to do a little work on the van, because I noticed yesterday when I went to use the PA, it wasn't working. And what I'm thinking is that maybe when the alarm was put in, they took the dash, not the dash, but the grill out. Yeah? Okay. They took the grill out, and when they took the grill out, they may have disconnected a wire unbeknown to them. Hold on, guys, I'm getting Bear a treat. I don't know why she bought these. I don't like these. I don't like rawhide unless it's chopped up and pressed back together again, because they can choke on it. I know 2 people that in Florida well, actually 2 dogs in Florida by the same owner that both died. She gave them some rawhide chewies for the day. She went to work, she came back, they choked to death. So, when they chop them up like sawdust and then they press them back together, that I can deal with. But when it's just rawhide like that, it ain't gonna happen, because they start gobbling on it too fast, and the next thing you know, they're choking on it. All right, guys, I gotta do what I gotta do. the wife went to the dollar store because they had some pretty good brushes there, believe it or not. I'm not a big fan of the dollar stores when it comes to anything that's edible or anything that goes in your mouth or on your body. But sometimes, like these were good little brushes for $1. So she picked up a few of them just to have around. These don't look too hot. These will be throwaways. These are actually worth cleaning. So at that point, we're all set there. Now, when it comes to the dollar store, anything you're going to eat, you know, or put in your mouth, like I say, even their toothpaste. So